Minca is a little mountain town tucked into the Sierra Nevada. It's famous for coffee, cacao, waterfalls, and wildlife.
Crazy nice views, and looking forward to the next few days here.
The trees here are home to 25 species of bird that you literally can't see anywhere else in the world. That's pretty wild.
We are birdwatching ready. This is well ready.
After a long day of travelling, we kept things chilled. Swimming, lounging, and eating.
We are just surrounded by greenery and forest, and all you can hear and see is birds everywhere. See why people come here.
And then we caught the sunset over the forest from a wooden deck.
And what a sunset it is.
With a cocktail in hand, obviously. Dinner was the cheesiest nachos. And honestly, I've been eating nachos, beans, and guac pretty much every day, and I'm not mad about it. Then we tucked away for an early night, because the next morning was birdwatching.
5:45, and we are up super early because today we are doing some bird watching. We have never done it before in our lives. I don't know if it is my thing, but we do like wildlife, and it's really famous for it here in Minca.
And isn't it like 17% of birds in the world, of all the species, are actually contained within Minca? So we should be able to see a lot today.
Picked up by our guide Richard and given binoculars, we headed out on foot to try and spot some birds. Now, this was an unexpectedly really fun activity, and I don't know how you make a video about bird watching fun, but Richard would point at some birds really far away in the distance that I have no idea how he saw. Well, I guess it's kind of his job. And then you'd look through your binoculars, spend a minute trying to focus, and then see the bird briefly before it flew off. Then Richard would show you a picture, tell you about the nature of the bird, and tell you what you just witnessed. It's not really just about the seeing. Being up at 6 a.m, looking across the treetops and listening to the songs of the forest was really magical. Richard also has a speaker with bird sounds on. And if he sees a bird that disappears, he can play the bird sound to try and entice that bird to come back out, which is also pretty fun. And sometimes he just whoops to call a bird out like a bird. We move through to different parts of the forest and to different viewing decks.
We are birdwatching from this deck, and the view from here is just unbelievable with the sun hitting the mountains, all the birds around.
There were hummingbirds hovering around the sugar feeders. And then we headed back to the hostel for an early morning yoga class, because it was still early morning, on this beautiful space surrounded by glass windows and the forest all around.
Yeah, what a great way to start the morning. It's 9 a.m. We've already done 2 things.
Then it was time for some well-deserved breakfast after a morning of doing things.
Breakfasts are like very dense bread.
Before some sunbathing, reading, and snoozing on the deck after a healthy lunch at the hostel. To explore more of Minca, you need wheels. And the best way of doing that is hopping on the back of a motorbike. It's quick, cheap, and really fun.
We are in downtown Minca now, which is actually pretty happening. I didn't think there was going to be loads going on here, but actually there is. There are loads of shops, a number of coffee shops and restaurants, shops selling things, and people look very happy.
We zipped through the busy town and even past the police on horseback.
I have no idea where all these people came from, but there were loads of people.
And then we hit the trail for Minca's most famous waterfall, Cascada Marinka.
It's really green and foresty here. We're walking along these dirt roads covered by these trees, listening to the birds.
We headed through the shaded track through the winding forest.
It's a pretty unbelievable walk, this one is, through this tree-covered path. There's a stream on this side now, and like this bamboo that's just like crazy tall.
And then we made it to the Cascada. You pass through a small hut where you pay before you reach the hidden waterfalls within a forest.
It is a pretty cool waterfall tucked away in this forest. Like, you wouldn't even guess that this was here.
They absolutely love an overhanging net in Minca. And of course, we got a shot of the iconic waterfall at the top. We headed down to the bottom waterfall that you could swim in, and the water was freezing. But you're in this freezing water, getting drizzled on by an impressive waterfall in a forest in Colombia. This is pretty cool. Back in town, there's a famous spot for a sunset, Casa Loma, and we were told it's one not to miss, so we were racing the sun before it went down.
To get to the top here, where Casa Loma is, it's a proper climb. Like we thought, oh, the motor taxi's dropped us off, we're here now. No, still a long way up.
When we got there, boy was it worth it. The sun was setting right in front of us over the greenery, and we sat on yet another deck, listening to music and soaking in the vibe with a drink in hand. As the sun sets, the red glow starts to disappear and live music starts to appear in front of us like in a dream. And I guess you're not really in Colombia unless there's some way to salsa, right? What an end to another epic day in this incredible country. Make sure you're subscribed to follow the adventure as we head to the Caribbean coast.